All right, let's dive right in. Today we're cracking open the big ideas from Judith Olando's book, Awakening the Divine Within. It's basically a blueprint for what she calls spiritual sovereignty, and we're going to break down exactly what that means.
Right out of the gate, the book hits you with this: God lives in you, not in the sky. This is the core idea, the hook that challenges, well, pretty much everything we've been taught. It's not about some distant being, it's about an internal presence. And that single thought is the foundation for everything else we're about to cover.
So that naturally leads to this massive question, right? If this divine power is inside us, why on earth have we spent centuries being told to look for it somewhere else? Why have we been taught to search for salvation and answers from some external source? The book's take is that this isn't an accident. It's a system of control.
To really unpack that, the book introduces its first major concept, the idea that our inherited beliefs have built a kind of prison, a prison for the mind. And the whole point of this prison, it argues, is to keep us from ever realizing our own true power.
Think about it. For generations, many were taught that sacred texts were the literal, unchangeable word of an all-powerful God who exists completely separate from us. According to the author, this whole setup created a dynamic of fear and dependency. It positions God as a judge and us as, well, powerless. The book argues that this has fundamentally disconnected people from their own inner authority.
And this is where the book draws a really clear line in the sand, distinguishing what it calls religion from spirituality. On one side, you have religion. God is outside of you, it demands obedience, you're a subject waiting for a savior. But on the other side, you have spirituality. God is within you, it guides you towards self-mastery, you are a creator, and the focus is on your own awakening. It's a massive shift in perspective, moving from an institution to your own internal experience.
Okay, so if the old way of thinking is a prison, how do you get out? Well, the book's answer is pretty radical. It involves completely redefining the word God. Let's take a look at how this new framework is built.
So here it is, the key to the whole thing. The book suggests we stop thinking of God as a person or a personality. Instead, think of it as a universal, impersonal energy it calls divine consciousness. It's not a king on a throne, it's more like a current of electricity or a fundamental life force that flows through every single one of us.
And this is where it gets really real, because this is where personal responsibility kicks in. This energy inside you, it's neutral. It isn't inherently good or bad, kind of like fire. You can use fire to cook a meal and stay warm, or you can let it burn your house down. The author says this divine energy is the same. It's an incredibly powerful tool that can either create a beautiful reality or a destructive one. It all comes down to how you learn to direct it.
So the big question is, how do you actually direct that energy in a good way? The book doesn't just leave you guessing. It lays out a very clear framework to help you align with that inner power, and it all begins with 4 core principles.
These are what the author calls the 4 cardinal virtues: truth, conscience, righteousness, and justice. They're presented as the fundamental building blocks, almost like the gatekeepers of morality that should guide your thoughts and actions. The core idea is simple. When your life aligns with these virtues, you are in perfect harmony with that divine consciousness inside you.
Now, this next part is really fascinating. The book claims that once you get this internal framework, you start seeing it encoded everywhere, in ancient symbols that we've all known our entire lives.
So the argument goes that these symbols aren't just about history or religion. They have a hidden esoteric meaning. They're actually maps of your own inner world, your own consciousness. And to prove the point, the book uses one of the most famous symbols in the world as a prime example.
The cross is reinterpreted not as a historical object, but as a symbol of you, a human being. Picture yourself standing with your arms stretched out. Your head, pointing north, represents justice. Your feet, grounded in the south, are your truth. Your right hand, reaching to the east, is your conscience, and your left hand, to the west, is righteousness. You see? The point isn't to just look at a cross. It's to realize you are the cross. You are a living symbol, the meeting point of all these divine principles.
And it's not just the cross. The book points to other natural symbols too, like the butterfly. Its 4 stages of transformation, from egg to caterpillar to chrysalis to butterfly, are presented as a perfect metaphor for our own 4-part spiritual journey, guided by those same 4 virtues. It's all about inner evolution.
Okay, so this brings us to the big finale. You understand the energy within you, you understand the principles that guide it, so what now? What do you actually do with all this knowledge? This is the most practical, hands-on part of the book's entire argument.
The author lays out 3 concrete steps to start actively shaping your own reality. Step 1. Elevate your base energy. This means consciously shifting your emotional state from one of fear and survival to one of empowerment and sovereignty. Step 2. Adjust your mental lens. Get crystal clear on who you truly are and what you genuinely want to create in your life. And finally, step 3 is manifestation. When your inner world is aligned, you just allow it to be reflected in your outer world.
I mean, this quote really says it all, doesn't it? It's a powerful call to action. Stop being a passive follower in systems made by others and step into your role as an active, sovereign creator of your own life's experience.
And that's where the book leaves us, with this final, empowering question. By reframing God not as some distant authority, but as the creative potential inside each of us, it puts the blueprint for reality right into our own hands. The question is no longer about what you're supposed to believe, but what you will choose to create.